Hello, Potato. So, it has been quite the week here in the States. And I'm not gonna go too much into that, other than to say, if you can see my hands right now, that means you survived it. Congratulations, and welcome to a little bit of weekend magic. We're gonna keep it kind of short this week, just have three things to show you, and they're all Funko. But first, let's look forward. Instead of looking backward at the week that's been, let's look forward to the week that's coming and the release of Stitch Crashes Disney Series 1, which is going to be Beauty and the Beast. And it turns out my thoughts that it was somehow related to the movie trailers from 2002 was spot on, because they're actually using images from those trailers in the promotion of the series. And so we know that Series 1 is going to be Beauty and the Beast, and obviously we can assume that Aladdin, Little Mermaid, and Lion King will be in there as well. So the question is just what the other 8 will be. But as you can see, Shop Disney, I don't know if I got it first from Shop Disney UK or Shop Disney US, but they did release images of the items, which are fairly scaled down to some previous years. It's just going to be a plush, a pin, and a magic band, which doesn't do me any good here in California. And of course, the magic bands will not be sold at Disney stores. I assume they'll be sold at the Florida Park and, of course, on Shop Disney. And I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, I'm going to save some money this year, because that plush is not attractive. Not to me, anyways. If you like it, big ups to you. But it's not my cup of tea. I was kind of hoping, if it was going to be, what I thought it was, which is related to those movie trailers, that it would be like Stitch dressed up as the other characters. Like, if it was Stitch dressed as Beast, I would be more interested in. Instead, it's Stitch dressed up as a cheap handbag, and I'm not so into that. But I think I will probably still go for the pins. I don't know what the prices are going to be yet, though. But I guess on Tuesday, when they go up for Merch Pass, we'll find out the answer to that. I'm hoping 20. I wouldn't be surprised for 25 or 30, though, because it looks like a fairly good-sized pin, but I'm hoping they'll stick it to the $20 level. I think they were very wise to scale back the offerings, so they don't have another repeat of Disney Wisdom, where they had, art and journals and all the other guff that just didn't, some of the plush didn't even sell that well. But yeah, they've definitely scaled it back to just 3 items, only 2 of which will actually be in Disney stores, and I think that's very smart. One thing that's kind of weird is, so Lilo and Stitch came out in 2002. It's 2021. Why didn't you save this till next year, and you could have tied it in to the 20th anniversary of Lilo and Stitch? I don't know. I'm guessing next year will be something that's character-driven again, like Mickey or Minnie. And I think we're just going to see maybe a cycle of 1 year of a big thing with a big character, like a Mickey or a Minnie, or maybe a Donald will be next. And then the next year will be something a little less mainstream. I don't know. I mean, Lilo and Stitch isn't exactly fringe, but a little less broadly appealing in the same way that Mickey and Minnie are. I'm not happy to see Merch Pass back, but I wonder if it'll be as much of a problem. I wonder if they're going to cut down the supplies on these because Wisdom didn't do that well and they had a ton left over. So maybe these will end up being a little bit harder to get just because they don't make as many of them. I don't know. Who knows? I think if I don't succeed in getting the first pin, I probably just won't bother. Unless there's something really, really good and compelling, like an individual movie, but I don't know what it would be. I honestly don't know what movie they could tie into that would make me want that plush. Maybe Fantasia. Maybe Fantasia. And speaking of maybe Fantasia, that's what we have to look at this week, because Funko knows my weakness. I've said before, my weaknesses in particular are Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey and Chernabog. So what did Funko put out but Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey and Chernabog? Yep, from the new Fantasia series, we have Pop number 990, Pop number 991. One thing I didn't know going into this is that the other characters had names. I never knew that the Pegasus and the Hippo actually had names. I mean, I've seen these movies every few years my entire life. And yeah, I never knew that it was Peter Pegasus and Hyacinth Hippo, and I'm not 100% convinced that it actually is. They may just have done that rather than call it Pegasus and Hippo, because they probably have other pops over the years called Pegasus and Hippo. And I'm just now realizing this box is not in perfect condition. I wish I'd seen that in the store. Anyway, so we didn't just get these two, though, because it was at Hot Topic. They were 3 for $27. We had to buy a third pop, and I didn't want Peter Pegasus or Hyacinth Hippo. So my wife picked out Mr. Peanut, because why not? Yep, Mr. Peanut is number 107. They have a whole bunch of these. I don't think they have any on him now. Just kind of like with the Coke Bear, it's just Mr. Peanut on the back. But they have a whole bunch of these kind of ad campaign ones coming out. They have like Spam ones and a Coke bottle cap, and of course the Coke Bear, and the Morton Salt Girl, which I've shown off before. And yeah, they're doing a whole bunch of these, and I do feel a little weird about buying essentially advertisements, because it even says ad icons on it, which is a little weird. Apparently, I've seen pictures that Target is supposed to be getting in a baby nut version of Mr. Peanut from that Super Bowl ad last year, where Mr. Peanut died and then was resurrected as a baby. I don't know if my wife will want that one or not. And being Target, I don't know if we'll be able to get it or not, even if she does. They can be a little hit or miss on some of these things. So, I have talked enough. Let's get these out of the boxes, and especially this one, since I really wish I'd noticed that in the store. Get these out of the boxes and take a better look at them. So we'll start out here with Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey. Obviously a very different sculpt from the one that came in that Disney Archives 5-pack that I got last year. This one more of a little more like what he would be in the actual film itself. And I probably wouldn't have bought him if I had gotten that one a couple years ago that had him on top of like the swirl of water. That was a nice looking set, and I do kind of regret not getting it, but I've got this one now. So I think I am probably set for Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey Pops, unless I come out with something really, really impressive. But he's a nice sculpt. He's in the middle of, I guess, casting the spell. Presumably this is early on. I can't really tell like facial expression if he's angry or scared or mad or anything, but because he has no mouth. But it's still nice. It's got the nice flowing of the robe. It's a little rubbery on the robe. Ah, and I dropped him. Yep, it's a nice pop. And is that a flaw in the paint, or is that supposed to be there? That little gold spot, is that? I think that might be a flaw in the paint. Well, that's unfortunate. He's just a little unfortunate. His box is a little dinged up, more so than I realized. And he's got a little speck of paint there. I usually do a good job of looking at these to make sure there's not things like that wrong with them, but I guess I didn't do a good enough job this time. Still, it's nice to have him. He joins my growing collection of Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickeys. And yeah, I'm happy he's here. Let's move on to our other Fantasia guy. Next up, we have Chernabog himself from Night on Bald Mountain. And I like the effect they've done with the face here, because in the package, I wasn't 100% sure if the face was just painted on, because it kind of has a look like it's just painted onto smooth plastic, but it's not. It is actually sculpted. You know, there you can feel the teeth, the eyes, of course the standard pop eyes. It just kind of painted them a little differently. And he's got the cheekbones are defined along with the paint, the brow. It's a nice one. I kind of was surprised he was a normal-sized pop. When I first saw pictures of him, I kind of thought he'd be one of the larger ones, like one of the 8-inchers I think they are. I'm a little surprised that they just made him a normal, standard, 4-inch pop? I should measure these at some point, shouldn't I? I'm sure it says. I do like the wings on him, though. They're a little flexible, not a lot there. I wouldn't want to push on them too much. But I love his wings. I love he's coming out of the top of the mountain, just like in the movie. He's an awesome little pop. I do kind of wish it was a bigger one. Finally, and you may want to click away if you have allergies, we have Mr. Peanut, who I'm actually surprised. First of all, it's an interesting sculpt. They've actually sculpted in the texture of the peanut, which is kind of cool. Of course, he's got his monocle and his spats and his hat and his cane. And looking at him in the box, I kind of figured he wouldn't stand up well, but he stands up surprisingly well, because that cane actually does add a little support. Of course, if you do that to him, he falls over. But I mean, on his own, he doesn't want to fall over as much as, say, the Haunted Mansion maid figure does. But it's a nice sculpt. I say he stands up really well, and then I can't get him to stand up anymore. Other than having, that kind of the big black pop eye, I don't know if I would recognize him out of the box as being a pop. he kind of looks just like a pretty decent little vinyl figurine of Mr. Peanut. But it's cute, and you know, it's kind of a unique thing. You don't see a whole lot of Mr. Peanut things, although, I mean, with Funko doing these ad icons things, maybe you'll start to see more of them and more like him. You know what would be kind of cool, I don't know if I've seen one or not, would be Charlie, the Starkist tuna? Yeah, Starkist tuna. That would be kind of an interesting one, I think. I don't know if I've seen that one or not, though, if that's actually a real thing or if I'm just wishing it into being. Oh well. Yeah, there's Mr. Peanut. And, you know, I think with that, like I said, we're going to try to keep it short this week. Is there room for everybody here? With that, we will wrap this up. We got a couple Fantasia Pops and Mr. Peanut. Ooh, his head turns, too. Does Mickey's? Ooh, Mickey's does. That's kind of cool. Not that he's going to stay out of the box. He's going back in. The only pop we have that has stayed out of the box has been Grogu. Everybody else makes their way back in eventually. Well, I hope you found this all interesting. I hope I've kept this short. I haven't edited it yet, so it's probably longer than I want it to be anyways. But I hope I kept it short, and I hope you found it to be interesting. If you did, please give it a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And, yeah, I will see you in the next video. Stay safe and have yourself a good weekend.